and my salvation.
and my salvation.
By night
By night
and by day,
and by day,
through holy prophet,
through his holy prophet,
do I lead.
Drew Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
First, I rise in the name of Allah, the most gracious and most merciful. All praises due to Allah, Father of the universe. Father of love, true peace, freedom, and justice, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. To the one who supreme, most wise and beneficent, to him alone belong worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise. And like I said, praise Allah, praise Allah, praise Allah, for such a divine prophet, the last prophet he did in time, who came in due time to the fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America. Teach them how to learn to love instead of hate. Teach them about their higher self and lower self. Teach those things to make them better men, better women, better husbands, better wives, better children. Teach them things to make them be industrious. Our prophet, your brother, man, Prophet Noble Jali, born in the state of North Carolina, January 8, 1886. I'd like to go on to all the prophets of Allah, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius, etc. I'd like to go on to the Harvard and Prophet Abu Ali, Brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey. I'd like to go on to all the past, present, and future leaders of the Moorish Science of America, Brother C. Kirkman Bay, Brother F. Nelson Bay, and Brother J. Blakely Bay. I'd like to go on to the past Grand Sheik and moderator of the Moorish Science of America, Brother R. Love Eel. I'd like to go on to the present Grand Sheik and moderator of the Moorish Science of America, Brother R. Jones Bay, and to the assistant, Brother K. Hopkins Bay. I'd like to come out to all national official, all state official, all local official. I'd like to come out to all Grand Governor Assistant, all Grand Sheikhan Assistant. I'd like to come out to the Grand Governor of the State of New York, Brother D. Clark Hill, and to his assistant, Brother Hay Gaines Hill. I'd like to come out to the Grand Sheikhan of number 34, Sister Steve Seals here, and her assistant, Brother W. Cannon Bay. I'd like to come out to all officials of number 34. I'd like to come out to all Sheik and Sheikas, all divine ministers, all members. I'd like to announce our two flags, the American flag and the Moorish flag. I'd like to announce our charter with the 10 wonders and mysteries of the world, which give us the right to Islam in America without molestation. I'd like to go on to the divine constitution and bylaws, questioning of additional laws, the Holy Koran and more Science of America, humanity the pamphlet, and all the divine instruction that the prophet brought for the uplifting of fallen humanity. I'd like to go on to everyone who's working for the uplifting of fallen humanity. I read the laws and more Science of America. Stone of present salvation, all seeing eye, our God, hand press unity. The Moorish Science of America, Divine Constitution and Bylaws, Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Science of America. The assistant Grand Sheik assists the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, true peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the members of the Moorish Science of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is a holy day of rest because on the Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on the Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is a holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science of America. No one is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion or all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live their life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of this said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. But us all members must proclaim their nationality, and we're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they're part and partial of this said government, and other than our Negroes, color folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But there's a new era time now, and all men now must proclaim a free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish American descendants of the ancient Moabite, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members of the public attending meetings have become a part and partial of all of the acts of the Moorish Scientific of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Scientific of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant from the Holy Prophet Noble Ali to the guidance of his Father God Allah. Noble Ali, the founder of Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. To his Holy Prophet Ali. Amen. Thus I read the 7 acts of the divine constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Scientific of America. I now go to the great meeting is on. Koran question for Moorish American, page 7. Questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish American by the Prophet Noble Ali. Act 1. Grand chiefs and governors and heads of all temple or businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Ali. Before acting upon by any members, let it be financed property or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Chief. Act 2. All members are to attend their adult meetings and the public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around that meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go in your emergency fund. If members work on his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe as much as he's able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he's an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people and justice must get you. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. As I have the power invested in my hands, I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making their public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we're to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and that they're not Negroes, color folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But it's a new era time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish American descendants of the ancient Moabite, who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members of the public attending meetings have become a part and partial of all other acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of all humanity. All Moorish Americans keep their hearts and minds pure with love, and their bodies clean with water. This divine coming from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, to the guidance of his father, God Allah. Thus I read the 7 acts of the questionnaire additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I now take you to the Holy Koran and Moorish Science of America, Circle 7 divine, prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guidance of his father, God Allah. The great God of the universe is deemed naturally simple and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father, God Allah. Know thyself, the genealogy of Jesus' life works with Jesus in India, Europe, and Africa, in the land of Egypt. And now go to chapter for today, which is chapter 23, which is found on page 34, Divine Instruction of the Holy Prophet, chapter 23, Holy Instruction on the Prophet, Holy Instruction for thy children. Consider, thou art a parent, the importance of this trust. The being thou hast produced, it is thy duty to support. Upon thee also is offended whether the child of thy bosom be a blessing or a curse to thyself, a useful or worthless member to the community. Prepare him early with instruction, and season his mind with the maximum truth. Watch the bent of his inclination, set him right in his youth, and let no evil habits gain strength with his years. So shall he rise like a cedar on the mountain. His head shall be seen above the trees of the forest. A wicked son is a reproach to his father, but he that doeth right is an honor to his gray hair. The soil is thy own, let it not want cultivation. The seed which thou sowest, that also shalt thou reap. Teach him obedience, and he shall bless thee. Teach him modesty, and he shall not be ashamed. Teach him gratitude, and he shall receive benefit. Teach him charity, and he shall gain love. Teach him temperance, and he shall have health. Teach him prudence, and fortune shall attend him. Teach him justice, and he shall be honored by the world. Teach him sincerity, and his own life shall not reproach him. Teach him diligence, and his wealth shall increase. Teach him benevolence, and his mind shall be exalted. Teach him science, and his life shall be useful. Teach him religious, and his debt shall be happy. Just I read the entire chapter, Divine Instruction from the Holy Prophet, chapter 23, Holy Instruction for thy children. The fallen sons and daughters of Asiatic nations in North America need to learn to love instead of hate. You know, the higher self and law, so this united Holy Koran of Mecca, for teaching instruction on Moorish American, etc. From the Holy Koran and Moorish Science of America, know yourself and your Father God Allah, that you may learn to love instead of hate. Every man needs to worship on his own vine and victory, the uniting of ages. Our meeting is now open according to the prophet's law. I'd like to say I'm indeed glad to be here with my brothers and sisters. Praise Allah for allowing us the opportunity to be sitting in this circle, sitting in the sacred grove, following the instruction of our prophet Noble Drew Ali. Praise Allah for allowing us this opportunity. Do we have the assistant of Sunday school instructor online? Or?
Islam.
Islam, praise Allah. Praise Allah, my sister. Praise Allah.
Yes, Allah.
I turned the meeting off to assistant Sunday school instructor, Sheikh Divine Minister, J. Jordan Mill, and she conduct our Quran class. There you
Yes.
go.
Islam, Mars.
Islam.
Islam. First, I want to rise and give praise to Allah and honor to his holy prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I want to give honor to the forerunner to the prophet, Brother Marcus Garvey, and to all true and divine prophets of Allah, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, etc. Giving honor to all the past and present leaders of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I want to give honor to the past Supreme Grand Advisor and moderators, Brother C. Kirkman Bey, Brother F. Nelson Bey, and Brother J. Blakely Bey. I give honor to the former Grand Sheik and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Brother R. Love Eel, and to the current Grand Sheik and moderator, Brother R. Jones Bey. I give honor to all national, state, and local officials and their assistants in their offices and station, past and present. I give honor to our Grand Governor of the State of New York, Brother D. Clark Yule, and to his assistant, Brother A. Gaines Yule. I give honor to the current Grand Sheik of Moorish Science Temple number 34, Brother W. Sister, let me slow down, Sister Cecile Yule, and to her assistant, Brother W. Clendenin Bay. I give honor to our chairman, Brother I. Smith Eel, and to his assistant, Brother C. Ferguson Eel. Giving honor to the assistant secretary, Brother I. Smith Eel, and the assistant recording and financial secretary, Brother S. Flynn Bay. Giving honor to our treasurer, Brother L. Serrano Bay, and to his assistant, Brother Alden Bay. Praise Allah. I'm giving honor to all officers in their places and stations. Giving honor to all of the members and their guests, because when man honors man, he honors his father, God Allah. We give honor to our remedies, our literature, and everything that the Prophet has brought. Islam Wars. Welcome to Sunday School. Islam. So we're gonna do I'm just gonna let you, as we go through this questionnaire and as we go through the Sunday school, I'm going to ask that you give a brief praise and honors if you're called on. Praise Allah. And Brother Chairman, can you just tell us who's in the temple?
Yeah, Brother T. J. Peterson, Brother Turner Bay, and myself. The Grand Sheik is on the way.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. And we have online here Sister Seal, Sister E. Jones Bay, Brother S. Sulaiman Bay, Brother W. Clendenin Bay, praise Allah. And we have someone on iPhone. All right, Morris, let's get into our questionnaire. But before we do that, Brother Chairman, could you give us a song?
Islam. ISLAM. Islam, Muslim, Islam. The same, the word means peace to me. Islam, Muslim, Islam. I for independence. S for our salvation. L for love to everyone all over the nation. A for Allah, the Father of the universe. M for Moorish American and Muslim, which are us. ISLAM. Islam, Muslim, Islam. The same, the word means peace to me. Islam, Muslim, Islam.
Islam. Praise Allah. Thank you, dear Chairman. Praise Allah. All right, so let's go through our questionnaire. Let's start with the let's see, who do we have here? All right, well, Brother S. Sulaiman Bay, are you available to speak?
Islam.
Islam, praise Allah. I'm going to ask a few questions if you can, if you don't mind. Praise Allah.
Allah.
Can you give a brief praise and honors before we get started?
Indeed, first I rise and give praise to Allah, honors to our holy and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Jew Ali, and honors to all things pertaining to Islam.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. Please. So let's start. We're just going to go through here. What year was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
1913 AD.
Where? Where?
Newark, New Jersey.
Praise Allah. Who was Jesus?
He was a prophet of Allah.
Where was he born?
In the state, where was he born? In the state of Judah, in the house of Bethlehem.
In Bethlehem of Judah.
In Bethlehem of Judah, in the house of David.
Praise Allah. I'm going to ask you that again. Where was he born?
in Bethlehem of Judah in the house of David.
Praise Allah. Who were his father and mother?
Joseph and Mary.
Praise Allah. Thank you, Brother Eslim.
Islam.
Islam. Islam, Brother Assistant Grand Sheikh. Are you available to answer some questions?
Islam Sheikh, it's not right now. Thank you.
Okay. Praise Allah. I'll circle back. Islam, let's see. Sister Jones Bay, Sister E. Jones Bay, are you available to answer some questions?
Praise the Lord, also prophet.
Praise Allah. Thank you for giving honor. What was the nationality of Ruth?
Ruth was a Moabitess.
What's the modern name for the Moabites? Islam?
Ruth was a Moabitess.
Praise Allah. What's the modern name for the Moabites?
Moroccans.
Okay. Praise Allah. I have a question for you. When you hear the term Moabitess, what comes to mind?
Sisters in the temple.
Allah. It's beautiful. Praise Allah. Just a few more questions. At what age did Jesus begin to teach?
At the age of 12.
Where did he teach?
India, Africa, Europe.
How long did he teach?
18 years.
Praise Allah. Thank you, dear sister. Think about the age of 12. The age of 12. Does anyone want to share any thought about this number, the age of 12, that Jesus began to teach, or any significance of the number 12, or any thoughts about the number 12 and Jesus teaching at the age of 12? You remember how you were at the age of 12? Praise Allah. I see a hand raised by Sister E. Jones Bay. You've got the floor, my sister.
Islam, just from my own experience as a mother, usually around 12 is when the children start going through changes. They start showing more maturity. And each child is different. Young ladies are more mature sometimes than young men. They start playing a little bit more. It usually just depends on the child and then the instruction of the child. When we hear that Jesus began to teach at the age of 12, I start thinking about chapter 5 when when they were on their journey and Mary was looking for her son and she found him in the temple with the teachers, and he himself was like, do you not know I must be about my father's work? And it's usually around that time you start seeing that type of demonstration from the youth. With that, I say peace.
Please, praise Allah. Sister E. Jones Bay, you said a whole lot, and you definitely hit some really key points. And as we were talking about children today in our Sunday school lesson, just knowing the age of 12, I definitely agree as a parent that the changes we've seen, and I'm praying for parents. I was saying also that it's at this point where when my mom used to say, you'll understand better when you become a parent, that this is when I definitely understand being a parent, what it feels like. So praise Allah. Any other Moors want to share about this age of 12 and any significance that it has for you, or any thoughts you might want to share about this? Islam.
Yeah. I was already given. You just have to, like, this went to the record, which is correct. You went to chapter 5. And if we go to when Mary asked God, had you seen Jesus, a little boy about 12 years old? So he was disputing with the doctors of the law at 12 years old. So he was also teaching them, because majority of the time they was like amazed at the conception that he had in terms of explaining about the law and about the more than what they knew. there was kind of shocked to see a little boy about 12 years old demonstrating as he is demonstrating. So I think that's one of the things that make him so amazing in terms of teaching at the age of 12. Peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. Is there anyone else that wanted to share before any thoughts about the age of 12? Islam Brothers W. Clinton and Bay, you have the floor.
Islam Sheikh is praise Allah and honor to the Prophet. I want to say it's also the 12 maxims of truth. It's the 12 things that we're supposed to teach our children that's in the chapter today. The 12 signs of the universe and the zodiac. And also when you add up the number 12, it represents the Trinity. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Praise Allah. That's the science. The science of it all. Really, I'm getting a lesson in that too. As a parent, just when at this age we see the balanced and unbalanced forces coming, so there's a struggle. Well, praise Allah. Praise Allah. All right, more. Let's continue in the questionnaire. Sister Islam, Sister Cecile, I looked up and saw you there. Where'd you go from? Praise Allah. Islam, dear sister. Islam, dear sister Grand Sheikah. Are you able to take a couple questions?
Islam, I am. If I'm able, can I respond to the age of 12?
Yes, praise Allah. You have the floor, sister.
Of course, I'm going to rise and praise to Allah, give honor to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and I give honor to everything pertaining to Islam. So I'm just going to also say, like in modern days, when we look at the age of 12, it's the last age before one becomes a teenager. It's also usually that time frame where you'll find developmentally there's some changes that's happening within them. There may be even certain understandings that start to develop that step out of more of a childlike into borderline between trying to comprehend certain adult aspects of life, maybe even questioning themselves, physical changes. With that comes hormonal changes. And as we know, as both yourself and Sister E. Jones, they explained from both experience, which led to aspects of wisdom being unfolded before us, it also shows how different and how varying each of us are going to be, right? And as you were both speaking, I thought about the gifts of the understanding are the treasures of Allah. He appointed to everyone his portion, in which measure seemeth good unto himself. And so that doesn't separate the children either, right? So the children also, no matter how much you may impart on a child, they're going to unfold as the bud unfolds to show the flower. And so it's going to take that natural growth and unfoldment and progression for them to be able to unfold, I would say, organically. As it was expressed also, it made me think of the 12-step ladder, which we climb to reach the pinnacle of wisdom, right? And so it made me think about that with the youth, right? As they're 12 years old, or just think about from birth until the age of 12. You say some of their most profound memories are generally between the ages of 7 and 12. Just a little, like a quick jump on how even the brain works. A person who is born blind, right, will not dream in images, right? But if that child reaches to about 5 to 7 years old in that time frame, and then develop some type of visual impairment, they will dream and still have vivid pictures, images, and be able to describe persons. But those who are legally blind or declared visually impaired before the age of 5 or from birth on, they never dream in color. So even our brain and our body stores images, memories, and still gives it back to us. And so what it makes me think of, again, as Brother Clinton may express, those maxims of truth. So again, you need to pour as much as you can into yourself, but also into the children. And so that age of 12, thinking about how much they watch the parents, they may not be necessarily hanging out, going out by themselves as of yet. So a lot of our examples helps to guide them. The role model, right? You think about a role model. You are by default the child's role model. Any person in that home living with you, aunt, uncle, cousin, husband, friend, godparents, whoever it is, they're also role models. So I appreciate the question, and also, and of course, just speaking to the youth, because the prophet said he came for the young and those yet born. So praise Allah.
Praise Allah. Before you go, I just want to ask you a couple questions from the questionnaire, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Praise Allah. So how long did he teach?
18 years.
What did Jesus say that would make you free?
Truth. Excuse me.
What is true?
Truth is ought.
What is ought?
Ought is the law.
Can truth change?
Truth cannot change or pass away.
So I have a question, and you can answer this, or anyone else can answer this. We just talked about Jesus teaching at the age of 12, and where he taught, and how long he taught. And then the next question is about truth. Is there any thoughts about why the next question would be about truth, or how truth could relate to this? Now, let me give you a little context to guide a little bit. As we get to the chapter, we're going to be talking about the lessons that we need to teach our children. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up, Morris, that I'm going to ask you one instruction that you would want, just to pick one that you would want to share with the youth. If they, you had that one moment to share it with them. I know there are many, but just one. So as you prepare to share that, the lessons that we're supposed to teach them, we'll talk about that when we go over the Holy Quran section. But we go from Jesus being, at the age of 12, him teaching where he taught, how long he taught, and now we're talking about truth. How can we connect those?
So Islam, praise Allah. So just looking at the concept of just the unfoldment of the questions in that run, right? Where it starts from, I go to number 40, right? Well, it starts at the top. Jesus, right? Means justice, right? Then it says you can't use the name if you're a slave to sin, right? And then it goes on and it expresses that he's an angel of Allah. Well, what is an angel? An angel thought of Allah manifested in the flesh, right? And then just continuing, it goes to carry messages to the four corners of the world to all nations. That's reflected in where did he teach? India, Africa, and Europe. Then it continues and it goes, what is our prophet to us? He's an angel of Allah who was sent to bring us the everlasting gospel of Allah. And then it continues, what is the everlasting gospel, right? And then it goes to speaking to that covenant again, right? And now when it goes to the covenant, it goes about honoring thy mother and thy father, and then it speaks to an age of a child, the age of 12. Mm-hmm. And then it continues and it talks about those regions that he touched and it expressing the work of an angel. India, Africa, and Europe. And excuse me, more, this is my understanding of it as I am here today. And then it continues, it says how long did he teach? It goes to the 18 years. So at the age of 12, teaching, you think about school, you think about the youth, generally, you say that's when around the time they graduate, generally as they're reaching their 18th year, right? But then it continues and it says, what did Jesus say that would make you free? So now this is talking about some of the things that he taught. And amongst those 18 years, one of the things that he taught would make you free was truth. Mm-hmm. And then it's asking, so then what is truth? And it tells you truth is ought. And then it goes, what is ought? And it says, ought is Allah. And then it says, can truth change? Truth cannot change or pass away. So that means to me from the explanation that he was teaching on all these regions, but the main purpose was to free yourselves, right? Because the angel gave to the child that was called Jesus the holy name. It says, yes, but it cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin. So to make yourself free, as far as no longer being a slave to sin, he was teaching us truth. And so when it says that truth cannot change nor pass away, even within those different regions that he visited, I'm sure there were different languages being spoken, different forms of interpretation, different forms of worship, different garbs, different physical features, but truth could not change nor pass away. So he taught a common thing, which was grounding, rooting, and uniting. And that's my understanding at this moment.
Peace. Praise Allah. As you were speaking, I was thinking about a lesson that Brother W. Kundenbe had taught, and he was asking each more to stand up and if they had a chance to teach some young people at school, or you had one opportunity, what would you say? Briefly. And I was thinking about this message, like something that seems simple. What is truth? Truth is all. Like these answers are sort of matter of factly. But when we're talking to our children in different age groups, we have to communicate on that level. So I really do appreciate how Sister Grand Sheikah was able to put that forth, how that unfolded. And it was a really beautiful demonstration. So what is truth? I was wondering if there's anyone that could explain what truth is in a very, I don't know, talk to me like I'm 5 or 6. Just what you, given your own words, what truth is, very briefly. It doesn't have to be a definition, but just an example. Like, how would you explain truth to someone? Just someone might think, okay, well, it's not a lie, but also there is, you can get into that deeper about omissions, and that's also not telling the truth. So it can be complicated. I see a hand by our brother Sheikh, Brother F. Spalding Bay. Yeah, the floor.
Islam. Praises be to Allah, honor to the Prophet, everything pertains to Islam. So truth is what is undeniable. Like it is true that we're having this meeting right now and it's being recorded, there are minutes being taken. So it's a truth. It's a fact. Peace.
Peace. That's beautiful. Undeniable. Um, I say that, and I think something else that comes to mind is that sometimes we are in denial about the truth, right? It's undeniable, and sometimes we are in denial about the truth. So I thought about that as well. Brother Spalding Bay, you still have your hand up. Did you want to say something else, or should I just take it down? Oh, praise Allah. Any one of the other Moors want to say anything about truth? Islam, brother, Sheikh brother S. Sulaiman Bay.
Islam, praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
We know that truth is ought and ought is Allah. So truth, how I tend to explain it is truth is truth is something that exists regardless to whom or what. It already exists. And then the choice is up to each more to align themselves with that truth. You know, you can be in the spirit of truth. You can have, which also goes to your intentions. So it's like, are you aligning up with that which is real? Are we lining up in our words, thoughts, our deeds, and our actions with that which is real? When we align with it, now truth is being manifested. You know, I know in the Holy Quran of Mecca, there's certain instances where it speaks about times where you can say certain things that are not fully per se, where you would be excused for not telling the full facts of a given situation, right? I'm going to do some more research on that to be more specific. I don't want to put it out there randomly, but praise Allah.
Praise Allah. Thank you, dear brother. Thank you so much. I saw a hand up, Brother W. Clendenin Bay, and then Sister Jones Bay.
Praise Allah. When you were talking about the truth and when you were talking about so a child could understand, and then I started thinking about when we were talking about what happens at the age of 12. So I think that when we talk about the one thing, like the brother mentioned, we're having a meeting that's being recorded, that's the truth. And then to the point where Allah or God is the truth, and that everything else is an illusion. That this meeting is illusion, this body, this flesh. It's all that seems to be. So I guess to teach a child, you would have to start at a level where, uh, I guess you use facts or telling the truth. But as they get older and as we think about it in the higher level, we know that truth is everything that doesn't change. So anything that change is not the truth. It's something that seems to be. So I think that it's like trying to work at a simple level and then build up. As we know, as man unfolds, as God unfolds. Peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. Thank you, brother. Assistant Grand Chief. Those are a lot of good points, and thank you, for that. Thank you, Brother Spalding Bay, Brother Sulemu Bay, and Sister Cecil Zeal. Sister E. Jones Bay, you have the floor.
Islam, I want to take a read from the page 12,
Mhm.
Divine Instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 7. In particular, I just want to start at 2. One day, as Jesus and Lamar walked along the Plaga Jagannath, Lamar said, "My Jewish master, what is truth?" And Jesus said, "Truth is the only thing that changes not." So if, as a Moorish American, if my 5-year-old was to ask me what is truth, just to use our teachings as an example, I would go to this chapter and read instruction 3, and I would tell my little one, truth is the only thing that changes not. Peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. Thank you there, sister. That was a good point. A very good demonstration. I really appreciated that. I see your hand up, Sister Cecil. Praise Allah.
Islam, Brother J. Peter Zill is here with us. I just wanted to
Yeah,
let you know he had a hand up.
Praise Allah.
Islam,
Islam.
the children of one father, provided for by his kid, and the breast of one mother had given we suck. When rise and give praises to the great God of the universe, honest to his prophets, and everything that he had brought for the upliftment of fallen humanity. Give honest to man, because man he honors his father God Allah, and peace and love to the most. So,
Peace.
just wanted to come walk with the Moors on the truth. Again, go back to that same instruction that Sister E. Jones said, truth is the only thing that changes not. Right? He said, in all the world is 2 things. Right? There's truth and then falsehood. Right? So, if what do we is in this perspective, right? How are you looking at this thing that we are in? Right? This existence. Right? How are you looking at it? From what angle are you looking at it from? Right? Um, he said, uh, truth is the only thing that changes not. Right? So do we see, how do we see? Do we see light as the truth? Like the things that we can see physically in our existence, is that truth? Or do we see darkness as the truth? Is the things that we don't see, the things that generate the things that we see, or the things that, for the lack of a better term, the things that hold the things that we see, right? Or is that the truth? Because he said he said we're the breast of children of one father and the breast of one mother have given we son, right? So that's not just man; that's every single thing in existence, right? The things that we see, just the ethers vibrating, just the vibration as the ethers vibrate, so and so. When conditions change, then they disappear, right? So truth would be the thing that's controlling those conditions, right? So that we could be able to see the things that we can see, right? And just a thought. With that, I say peace.
Peace. Thank you, dear brother. That was actually, you hit on a lot of good points, and you also, brother Brother W. Clendennin had, when he first spoke, he mentioned that, things were an illusion, right? Us being on Zoom, You guys being in the temple, just where our surroundings, just being an illusion. So that tapped right back into that. So praise Allah for your points and your demonstration, Brother J. Peters. We appreciate it. And it's always a pleasure to hear from you. So praise Allah. Sister Granchikas?
Yes, praise Allah. I was just going to kind of camel walk what the Moors were saying, because I was going to go into chapter 7, right? Truth is the only thing that changes not, right? And so, but the explanation, when like giving examples, because I know Sister M. Serrano Bay, 1-2 words, don't cut it, right? The sister wants an explanation with a dissertation and some proof attached. But the thought, I usually give her an example, like, right? So like, she's like, oh, I wasn't lying, she's done this at the age of 4, 3. No, that's not it. And so what I would explain to her, I said, so if mommy knocks the juice over, and then I say that the cat did it. We don't have a cat, but I say the cat did it. I was like, does that change that mommy really knocked it over? Does that change that? No. But I said the cat did it. Yeah, but you did it. Yeah, but if I say the cat did it, no one else saw it, does that? No, but you really did it, right? And so it was one of those things where I would now give an example. So then it would be a lie for me to say that the cat did it when I know that mommy was responsible. So the truth would be for me to speak, communicate, but also know. So I might know the truth, but I didn't say the truth. So I can know what really happened, but I didn't say what happened. So that would be truth and falsehood, because I know the truth, but the way that mommy's responding or the way that I'm reacting or talking is like I don't know the truth. So I would give 2 examples of honesty as well as what a lie would look like, and I would make it connected to something that would keep their interest. So like if she likes cats, so if she likes dogs, then she likes all animals, but if she liked dogs more, I would use dogs. If she, if it were colors, right? A child likes a specific color, and I'll look and I'm like, wall is clearly, a royal blue, and oh, that's such a nice shade of purple. They'll look at me and I'll go, what? Yeah, it's a nice shade of purple. No, that's my favorite color, blue. Oh, well, if I say it's purple, does that make it purple? No. But then that would mean now that I'm dishonest. But now that would be, for me, I would connect now. Am I dishonest because I'm just lying, or am I lacking education on a different color spectrum? Right? And so then now that I would introduce that into a broader conversation to help them understand the difference in lack of awareness versus blatant lies. But peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. Thank you for your contributions, dear sister. I see a hand up from Brother Zabi Bay. Assistant Grand Shi, are you available?
Islam Sister Minister.
Yes.
Would you mind if I put a little twist on the question that you posed?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So I was thinking, and we're talking about the children, we talk about ourselves being children. When we come into the temple and the prophecies, we have 5 principles that's on the flag. And we put about 5. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. What does it mean to act according to the principle of truth? What does that mean? Peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. Brother W. Bay is asking the question, what does it mean to act according to the principle of truth? So Islam Morris, is there anyone that wanted to speak about that?
Brother Peters Hill. Praise Allah.
Brother J. Peters Hill?
Yes.
Islam.
Islam.
Praises and honors already given. But just because truth can be found on every level of existence of life, right? So if we're dealing in spirit, that's the ultimate truth, right? Then your soul has a truth, and then your flesh also has a truth. Now we're aligning all of those truths, right? Because he said the higher self is human spirit clothed with soul, made into the form of Allah. Right? So that's what I would say we'll be walking in that truth. Right? And then in that, I think the vibration and the feeling within that will be so blissful that you wouldn't want to turn away from the gospel plow. Like you would want to stay on that, and any step would make you, any step would take you off of that path, will guide you right back to the surface. But that's what I think what it would sound like walking in truth in Islam.
Islam, I see you and Brother K. Turner Bay. Is that praise God? Got the floor, brother.
I want to rise and give praises to the great God Allah, honors to the Holy Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, and everything that pertains to Islam. To answer the Assistant Grand Chief's question, which is a deep question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me not veer off, because let me just speak what it is. Well, Jesus said that every word, ways, and deeds, right, is the proof of my messiahship. So I believe it's not what you say, it's your words, ways, and deeds. Peace.
Peace.
Islam.
Islam. Is that the chairman?
Praise Allah and honor to the Prophet. Praise Allah for the moral and praise Allah for the stimulating questions. One thing the Prophet said, establish that certain principles of action and see that they'll every act according to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about, what we're talking about is the action that we put into motion, the principle of love, true peace, freedom, and justice, because that's what we represent. According to our Prophet, the highest principle known to man. And what we do with that, we establish ourselves, like the brother was talking about, like the Prophet said, imitate I in word, work, and deed, and that's what we have to do. Imitate. And not only imitate, but put it into action of those principles. And I like the stimulating question, because you got to see where the children is at first. Mm-hmm. And because some children are, we know some children are moving faster than some other children sometimes. So you look and see they have certain qualities in them, so you know what kind of question you want to ask this person, this child, because you want to look at them and say, okay, because some children they have more exemplify more things than as an adult. Because some of them are moving faster. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at Mikhail. I'm looking at your children. The same thing. See. There's certain things that we have to give when we ask them questions. We got to bring things that they can comprehend. See where they at the level of their growth and development, especially talking about age of 12. And at the age of 12, they deal with a whole, like I say, the age of 12, I know dealing with a whole lot of things that I may not even comprehend. But praise the Lord for the More Science of America, that if I had these questions earlier, I would be better. At an early age, because it would give me that grounded, you see, and it would explain, because sometimes, like I said, some children ask questions. They all say, why? I mean, they want to ask you why, because they want to know the quality of the answer, what it is, and that's what I'm looking when you deal with the children. You gotta maneuver where they at along the way. And then, and then apply these little instructions. Peace. Thank you.
Praise Allah. Peace. Praise Allah. That's beautiful. I really going to segue over to the Holy Quran and the chapter about holy instructions for thy children, chapter 23. And Brother K. Turner Bay, do you have a question, or is your hand up?
Yes, Islam. I apologize. I like to congratulate and honor the brother for speaking, but I forgot before any of those, words, works, and deeds, you gotta reflect, because reflection is the business of men, and that's knowing who your higher self and lower self is. Because we all are children in light of this knowledge, right? Even now, when we have children, we can't tell the children that or show the children that which we haven't done. Because especially now in this electrifying age, they're very challenging, like the brother said, the question why, and they see you do something now, they think they can do it. It's because of the time. So we just got to be the message that we bring even to our children. Because now, what are we inadvertently doing in their eyes? If we don't see it, we're being a mockery of that which we speak. With that, I say peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. So that's going to speak to some of the things that I'm going to highlight, especially because we're talking about Jesus at the age of 12 and tie this into the instructions. But before we do that, I'm going to ask Sister Cecile Zeal, you have your hands up?
Islam, I do, and I also Brother Peter Zeal has a hand up also. I don't mind yielding.
Oh, he does. I didn't see that far back, but praise Allah. Did he have a hand up before you or?
Islam, yes, Brother Peter Zeal.
Just wanted to comment real quick on the higher self thing to give a concept. So when he says that your higher self is human spirit clothed with soul made into the form of Allah, right? And so for me, just my understanding and communicating to the wise for my for communicating to the most. But for me, that Allah, right, is connected to that love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, right? So that higher self being clothed with spirit, made into the form of Allah, and for me, it's like that arm, leg, arm, head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and we have that on every existence of life. So we don't just have a physical arm, leg, arm, head. We have a soul that's conformed into Allah, and we have a spirit that's also breathes Allah. So if any of those are not aligned, it's harder to live in those principles, to walk in those principles, to talk in those principles, and make it make sense. Right, so that's peace.
Peace.
Praise Allah.
Thank you, dear brother. Sister Cecile?
Islam, and as they just asked that question, that's exactly what I was explaining for a 5-year-old, right? As to what the principle of truth was. So that's when you start to separate the lack of knowledge and understanding with relation to, let's just say, I'm saying that this is the color because I didn't know any better, as opposed to me saying it's the color just because I want to create a misunderstanding or I want to sway the thoughts of others. I think that it's important to make sure that, just like Brother Steve Ferguson expressed through the words of the prophet, words, works, and deeds, right? So within truth, right? If you make a mess, you're supposed to clean it up. If you make a mess and you're unable to do it alone, you're supposed to genuinely ask for support and assistance while recognizing it. That concept of make a speedy reparation to the utmost of our power, right? Those things apply within being truthful, right? So for example, let's say the assistant grand sheik says assistant grand sheik in all affairs. She lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It's not optional if you're living in truth. If you're living in truth, this is what you'll do. But if you're not living according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, then for the assistant grand sheik to still assist you will be living out of law, out of the aspects of the truth. I use that because that was the first divine constitution and bylaw law. But the understanding would once again will right back into aligning what you say with how you act. So if you're gonna say, for example, the one of good is evil, right? You're supposed to be. How do you conduct yourself? Are you working on being a better self? This doesn't mean that you're perfect, right? Truth and perfection. So speaking in the truth in the form of flesh just requires you acknowledging, recognizing, and communicating transparently. So knowing, and like TV shows, if any of the seen any of the court shows, TV shows, CSI, any of those special agents, you have you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, right? They ask these particular things because you can tell the truth, but is it the whole truth? is it nothing but the truth? And so I think that when we're looking at the principle of truth and whether or not we're living according to the principle of truth, I would love to hear the AGS's thought on that, because I know if you brought up the question, he has to have a thought. So I'd like to, if we can just, it looks like he might have dropped off the call, but if we would have been able to get that question back over to him, that would have been beautiful. Praise Allah. Peace.
Praise Allah. I'll circle back when he comes back onto the call. So I know it's 3:00. I want to thank the Moors for sharing their portion and just tie it in to my thought today is about the cultivated and the uncultivated seed. So let's take a look at the Holy Quran, chapter 23, Holy Instructions for Thy Children. And Brother Eslim Bey, are you able to read this chapter?
Praise Allah. That's chapter 23, right?
Yes. Why don't you just read the first 5 instructions?
Indeed. We have holy instructions for thy children. Consider thou art a parent, the importance of thy trust. The being God has produced, it is thy duty to support. Upon thee also it dependeth whether the child of thy bosom be a blessing or a curse to thyself, and a useful or worthless member to the community. Prepare him early with instruction and season his mind with the maxims of truth. Watch the bent of his inclination, set him right in his youth, and let no evil habit gain strength with his years. So shall he rise like a cedar on the mountains, his head shall be seen above the trees of the forest. Islam.
Islam. Praise Allah. Brother Assistant Chairman, can you read from instructions 6 to 8?
Islam,
Islam.
a wicked son is a reproach to his father, but he that doeth right is an honor to his gray hair. The soil is thy own, let it not want cultivation. The seed which thou sowest, that also shalt thou reap. Teach him obedience, and he shall bless thee. Teach him modesty, and he shall not be ashamed. Peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. Sister E. Jones Bay, are you able to read instructions 9 to 13?
Islam.
Yes.
Teach him gratitude, and he shall receive benefits. Teach him charity, and he shall gain love. Teach him temperance, and he shall have health. Teach him prudence, and fortune shall attend him. Teach him justice, and he shall be honored by the world. Teach him sincerity, and his own heart shall not reproach him. Teach him diligence, and his wealth shall increase. Teach him benevolence, and his mind shall be exalted. Teach him science, and his life shall be useful. Teach him religion, and his death shall be happy.
Praise Allah. Thank you. Thank you, dear sister. Thank you, everyone that participated with the reading. I really appreciate it. I'm going to say a couple of things here that come to mind when I think about Holy Instructions for Thy Children, and I'm looking at instruction 7 when it says, "The soil is thine own; let it not want cultivation. The seed which thou sowest, that also shall thou reap." And then the instruction before that, when it says that a wicked son is a reproach to his father, but he that doth right is an honor to his gray hairs. And I was thinking, we have 2 things going on. Some of us have 2 things happening at the same time. We are parents parenting our children, but we also have the experiences of being the child when with under our own parents. And so we may try some things that worked for our parents, or we try the same things, and a lot of us are learning that it may not be working. Some things do work and some things don't. And so we've talked so much about the age of 12 and what that looked like, but parenting and some of the challenges that come with parenting at the age of 12, I was thinking about some things that we touched on, which is social emotional learning. That's a big phrase that they use often, I know, in the schools, and that's what they use in use a term using to teach our children how to cope with things, how to handle situations, how to deal with a growth mindset, and a whole lot more. But in that sense, it's social emotional learning. But why? Why is it needed? What do we know about the development of children, especially at the age of 12? Does anyone have anything to add about that? Just the development of children at the age of 12 and their emotional state of where they may or may not be at. Islam, Sister Jones Bay. C. Jones Bay, you've got the floor.
Islam, I don't like to speak on others, so I'll just use my own life as an example. I noticed that my oldest son is 19 and my youngest is 5 months. So I have children on every level of learning at this point. When it came to my oldest children, I realized, again, I always speak from my own standpoint because my children were raised a little bit differently than most. I allowed them to be themselves in their fullest extent. And the reason why I say that is because most children, again, when we're outside, the prophet, Sister Sills will say this a lot, the prophet say don't burden his Lord. Children come here already with a mission, and they are here to teach us things that we have to learn. So I will use Sister A. Jones Bay as an example. I allow her to be herself. She's just turned 13. So I just passed that age of 12 with her. But she was always wise beyond her years. I started noticing that when she was very young. And I sit back and allow her to just be with little interruption. That doesn't mean that she doesn't get instruction because she receives instruction. However, she's always going to be herself. Um, I've I've had face backlash numerous of times, but I swear it comes in while every parent is different. When it comes to my older children, I used to sit back and think they're not hearing me. I'm something must be wrong. And then as they are older, I'm seeing that they heard everything and they've learned from every experience. So and then I wanted to just come what Brother Turnabay said about being the example about them seeing. You can always tell if you're being an example if the children do what you want them to do. So they may not get everything perfect. Um, they may not show everything at once, but when they are older, when they are in the community, you will see if they have learned. And with that, I say peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. I want to thank you for sharing that portion. And it resonates with me very strongly. And I feel the same way. I do feel like sometimes we have to be mindful. And back to what Brother K. Bay was saying about reflection, we do have to be mindful that they are also having an experience as well. And they were not put here to, fetch the remote and run downstairs and get your glass of juice only, I'm kidding. But they're having an experience as well. And we're here to guide them, really, not always to do it for them, but to guide them. I reiterated this to my child the other day that my job is to teach you how to do it. And then once you got it, I'm not supposed to do it for you ever again. Like you should be able to get it from there and you're off and running. Once I'm sure that you've got it, you're on your own. Otherwise, then I didn't do my job. I didn't teach you how to do it. So There's a lot for that. Before I take your hand, Sister Granchicas, I just wanted to also add just some context about the age of 12. And they call that like the bridge year, right? Because they're not little kids anymore, but they're not quite teens yet. So I'm trying to kind of think about this in terms of Jesus and um, just the children we come across and the children in the news and things like that. What's going on there, right? What's going on at that age of 12? Well, you hear the term big emotions, um, independence, right? They want to do things on their own. They want to make purchases on their own. They want to be able to buy something in the store or by themselves or, online or something. They feel very strongly about things and they're trying to figure it out. Um, they have stronger opinions and even a deeper or stronger sensitivity to fairness. Sometimes they can tell you, like, wait, that's not fair. And they're right. Oftentimes, when my children are talking to me about situations, I really do respect the wisdom that they share. And one thing that I think is really key is that they can share their opinions. Like, I want to hear what you have to say, and I want you to think it through. But also friendships are important, right? So you don't want to be, it's hard. It is hard making friends. It is hard figuring this out, finding your place, feeling comfortable in different scenarios. And so we get it. But we sometimes as parents, we might forget how much weight friendships have at that age. And we know that brains are still developing in that frontal cortex and they're still learning self-control. So coming back to the social emotional learning and being able to self-regulate is so important, especially as we know as grown-ups how important it is to be able to control our emotions. So we did mention, and Sister E. Jones Bay, again, I can't say enough how much I appreciate what you were saying because you kind of hit a lot of these points about what's important and staying connected, being present, even on the worst day. And things get really rough sometimes, and trying to listen more than to correct, right? Setting clear boundaries and being the example. And I think that's key. It's really hard setting boundaries sometimes and trying to teach children boundaries, but they can learn. I think they learn really fast by watching us and watching what you do, right? And so that comes back to action, being important, trying to demonstrate truth. So before I go on further, I'm going to stop there. And, if you have any points you want to add in about encouraging independence, and validating feelings and things like that, because we have these instructions here and we have to be able to teach them, right? But my thing was in instruction 6, it says a wicked son is a reproach to his father. So then I thought, well, what if you are or you were the wicked son? And now you have to teach your child. So what are we doing here? What can we do? What can we take from this? How can we impact another generation by understanding that generation, right? But he that doth right is an honor to his gray hairs. What if you are the wicked son, right? But your child um, is doing an amazing job and giving honor to your gray hairs. What is the impact to you and how you're teaching him? Right? You're thinking, man, I could have done differently. I think many of us can talk about relationships we had with our parents and things that we could have done differently. And now we have a chance with our children to demonstrate that. And we don't want to, we don't want to mess it up. And I'll say that to say we can be the hardest critics or the harshest critics when we're working with the youth because we understand the impact that it has, weight that it carries. And so with that, I'm going to stop there. And Sister Cecile's ill, you had your hands up. And then I see hand, Brother F. Spalding, babe.
That's praise Allah. Such a beautiful, beautiful topic discussion. But to hear it from again, parents who have lived through these experiences, right? We've all let me look on the line. Okay, many of us have made it past the age of 12, so we've been there and at a different point in time. So when you were speaking about it, I was thinking about that same concept, right? The prefrontal cortex and its development. How the prefrontal cortex it's not going to be fully developed until they say about 25. But we know everybody's physical body can vary. So at the age of 12, it's heightened. And so what you were speaking to, there's a shift, a major shift that happens in the youth. And, we say the age of 12 to give a rough average, but there are certain things that we look for in a child within their development to understand, right? So their attachment style changes, right? There was a point where everything was mommy, 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 or daddy, 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 or family, family, family. And as you described, now it becomes where the community at large, their friends, mom might have said your hair looks nice, but now if your friend says your haircut looks nice, or your hairstyle looks nice, or your outfit looks nice, it means more, right? There's that, I think it's the limbic system, where that concept of the emotions and the rewards, right? You start looking for rewarding behavior, which may go into risk-taking behavior for some children, where, you might have a children that's staying out late, breaking curfew, or sliding down the banister. You have I think it was a 12-year-old young girl who was riding on the top of the subway carts. And she was critically injured. When we look at these different ages, this is the age where a lot of support, reassurance is needed. You'll see at points in time where there may be a childlike dependency, where they're back on you like, oh. And then there's a time where I'm growing up. Like, you give me some space, right? This is their fluctuation, but figuring out the world stage, right? And figuring out for them where their place is. And what I thought about more than that is when I was 12, I remember a lot of things happened to me. I was no longer living in my home with my parents. I had gone out and I was now living in the system, right? And there's certain things that there's not just one set type of 12-year-olds, right? Because depending on the child's experiences will determine how much more advanced they've had to be, right? There are some 12-year-olds that may not have learned how to really cook yet. There are some 12-year-olds that are making full-fledged meals in the house because they had to step in for areas maybe where there may have been some type of lacking support, or maybe they were forced to grow and recognize, okay, maybe there's a single-parent household. Mom's going to be working late. I have younger siblings. I got to be here. I got this responsibility. I got to do this. I got to do that, right? There may be that dynamic. I also thought about, as you said, those big emotions. It's a beautiful thing if a 12-year-old can even express what they're feeling. It's a whole different degree to balance and control those emotions. So I think that when we're looking at even just emotional regulation, that takes time to develop. Many of us, I look at it also, depending on what they've been trialed with. Some children may not have had to go through certain stress and trials, and so any bit of stress may be a bit too much for them to process, maybe a lot for them to take on. Whereas you have those who may have been in a high stress environment from day one, and they can kind of move around and maneuver because they've learned how to survive. And so maybe an aspect of survival mode. So I love these questions and these thoughts, because when it goes back into how the mind works and how we develop and how we unfold, every child is different. Every parent raising that child does things differently. And so there's no, as Sister E. Jones they spoke to, there's no one cookie cutter way for one child to look as they unfold. I think it's always important to look at it from a person-centered perspective. Look at the individual, look at what they're going through, look at yourself in relation to their dynamics, how you're affecting the environment. And I think that it's always important to remember that as the adult, as the person that may be responsible, the guardian, the parent, that it's always your responsibility to take the higher road. And what do I mean by that? Not saying to them, you know what, I'm not arguing with you, I'm taking the higher road. No, it'd be more of taking the time to explain and recognize their feelings. Help them to identify what they're feeling. Not by saying that this is what they're feeling, but asking them, but it looks like you're upset. It looks like, when you get upset, it looks, you might get all puffed up in the chest, or, you start pacing, or you start shifting a lot, or, you help them to recognize themselves without being antagonistic, because you want them to be able to process and control their emotions so that they're able to feel themselves and work through those emotional challenges so that they can properly regulate. So I love this conversation. Praise Allah, honest to our prophet, honest to your sister Sunday school teacher. Peace.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Thank you to Sister Granchikis. And I see your hand, Sister E. Jones, but I'm just going to make this quick point here. I was thinking about the term, if you've ever heard, it's called reciprocal regulation. So if you never, okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar with reciprocal regulation, it's sort of the concept or a process. It's really important if we can teach our children. It's sort of it's grounded in the science of mirror neurons. Okay, mirror neurons. Like the neurons, they allow us to acknowledge and sense the feelings of another person. And it's a worthwhile goal for our children to gain awareness of their emotions and what triggers certain feelings, and to have empathy for others, right? Because that's really key. We want our children to have empathy for others, but they've also got to understand and have the awareness of themselves. So we're kind of talking about mindfulness, right? That goes back to reflection, and as adults, right, being mindful of our own regulation is key to helping children learn. So if we can take care and we can get ourselves in check, our children can learn how to get themselves in check. If we can set the example for, what's supposed to be done, we can't be yelling and screaming about dirty rooms, but our rooms are dirty. We have to be the example. So even here with this really important chapter, which is we're teaching them these things, but my question has always been, how can we teach them if we ourselves have not learned those lessons to teach? And so this comes back to our role, our responsibility. And we know that children need guidance and support to improve their self-regulation. So with that, I'm just going to stop there and turn well, Sister E. Jones Bay, I see your hand. I think Brother Esther had his hand up, but he put it down. So Sister E. Jones Bay, you can go ahead and have the floor. And if Brother Spalding wants to speak, he can raise his hand again. Peace.
Islam, I was gonna speak to when you asked, what if you were the problem child or the wicked son? So, I was raised between two households, or my mother and my grandmother. Once I got to a certain age, my grandmother couldn't deal with it anymore, and she sent me to my mom. And I guess it just depends on. I feel like for me, I always say I'll use myself as an example. Because I know what my experiences were growing up, when I see certain behaviors come from my children, I'm like, oh, I've been there. I've done that. And it's kind of how much of, like I always say, I can't ever put the finger on anyone else because my children have been with me the entire time. So whenever I see something, I'm like, oh, they've seen that from me at one point or another. And throughout their childhood, and along the lines of what Sister Silzil said about adults having, some children take it, some children have their emotional regulation before others, and there's some adults who don't even know how to regulate their own emotions. So to expect it from a child, to me, is kind of redundant because I'm 37. I'm still learning how to regulate my own emotions. So when I see certain behaviors from my young ones, and I say from my young ones because I also have other little ones that are around me that are not necessarily of my own raising. It gives us a level of patience with the youth because we kind of understand that we've been there. Like I know that and for an example, as when it comes to dealing with my mom, because of not having such a great relationship, I allow my children to now see me and my mom working in unison, just
Praise
to give them, an example of, all right, it may not have always been great, but you give that opportunity regardless to what it is, because honor your father and our mother so your days may be long upon the earth land which the Lord thou allowed thy given thee. So we also have to remember that our parents were children, and we don't know what they experienced when they were children. So, to expect certain things from our parents, and that's just something that I learned on my journey as a mom and as a daughter. And, dealing with the different, the times were different when my grandmother was young. So knowing that they had to deal with certain things. And when the children are coming up, they are dealing with certain things that I will never experience because it's their own experience. I may have went through it with them, but their feelings and their emotions from their experience have built them to who they are today. So again, what you said about them having the experience and us learning from them, it's a that's why we are children. That's why our questionnaire say for more is children, because all even every last one of us are children. And with that, I say peace.
Praise, praise
Yeah,
Allah.
yeah.
Praise Allah.
Wow.
Thank you for Sister E. Jones Bay for putting that all together and bringing it right home. So praise Allah. Thank you so much for that. I just want to give honors to all of the speakers who spoke today, and I know this topic is important to all of us, whether you have children or don't, or work with children, or you have nieces and nephews. If we're trying to figure out how just to communicate with other people, if we can communicate with a child, right? If we can be able to communicate in that way, in a way that they can understand, then we're doing a great work. Like this is good. Um, so I was thinking about the uncultivated seed, right? And so if we understand what it means to prepare the seed, to prepare them. If you want to take the soil, for example, and I'm going to try to share this picture, the soil, of what it looks like when we're preparing it. So let me share. So hopefully the more can see this. Let me see if I can make it bigger. All right. So do you see this picture of the soil?
Yes.
Yes, Islam.
I don't know how many of you have had any experience with doing groundwork or planting or even to this kind of capacity, because this is rows and rows on uh, land, acres of land, but the conditions have to be right in order for your produce and other things for that seed to take. So the soil has to be cultivated so it can receive the seed, right? So I was thinking about this and going back to how to prepare. How do we teach these lessons if we haven't learned them yet? And so we want to make sure, because we want to plant good seeds, but we have to know that we have to make sure that we find quality seeds. This is the process, finding quality seeds. If ever you've had to plant and then you see things didn't work out right, we look at a lot of reasons. One of them is that the quality of the seed was not good. I'm not going to get too deep into that one. You can read what you want, but quality of the seeds is important. Whatever seeds the farmer plants is what he gets. Literally, what do we know? What's the saying that goes with that, right? You reap what you sow.
So,
So whatever the seed the farmer plants is what he's going to get. He literally reaps what he sows. You have to plant in the right season. If the farmer misses the season that he has to plant, he will not get that crop that he is expecting to get. There may be different times or seasons for each type of crop. And if you've ever planted out of season, you know exactly why. It's not the same. And you want consistent results, right? After that's done and the seeds are planted, you have to water the soil. So you found the good seeds, you found the seed you want, you know what you expect or you're hoping for. And so you want to reap what you're sowing. That's what you want. You want to know you sowed a good quality seed. All right, well, then you want to plant it at the right time, in the right season. There is a season for everything. The right season. How many of us, when we're dealing with youth or children or whomever, and this is something I've noticed in spending a lot more time teaching in the schools, that timing is everything. And they may be acting out in the classroom, and I may let it go for a little bit, but when it's time to get serious, if you want to continue, we have a problem. There's a time for that. And I always say, listen, if we get the work done, knock it out, and you'll have plenty of time to yourself. Work first, play later. After that's done and the seeds are planted, you have to water the soil. You can't go to the store, buy the plants, put it in the good soil, and leave it alone in the window forever. I don't know what you're expecting, and think about how we might be doing that in life. Some of us have some really high expectations of nothingness that we've given. Like we've given nothing. But we're expecting great things. It's the thought that if you work hard, okay, the benefits you reap are greater, much greater. And some things that I tell my children is you're working hard now, so you have choices. Play around now and you don't have options. You got to take what you're given. So the farmer has to wait. After you water that soil, expectation for the harvest, the farmer has to wait and he has to be patient because only time is going to unfold, right? What the seed is going to germinate. If the seed is the seed going to germinate? Is it going to take root? And eventually it sprouts through the soil. How many of us have heard the saying, the fruits of our labor? Mm-hmm. I think about that saying, it comes to mind when my mom used to say, show me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. And that blessing is just these little things that are important to prepare me. Only after that, after waiting, will you be able to produce the crop, whatever it is. There's going to be a lot of unexpected circumstances that are going to hinder this crop. There are going to be adverse weather conditions that are going to hinder this process, hinder the farmer. But the goal should always remain the same. So, Morris, I see it's 3:33, and I'm going to just turn this over to, I know it's time for secretary time. Yes, I'm sure the secretary would be fine with continuing the conversation in secretary time. But praise Allah. Morris, I want to thank you for participating in this class and in the lesson with the questionnaire, and just encourage you to just think about this. These are hard. Our principles, they seem easy to say and remember, but teaching these lessons are not that easy. It's really, I've tried to teach gratitude, but I've learned it's really something you can show with skill, like grit. You can tell them the definition of grit all day long, but until they push through something that they were ready to give up on, do they truly understand what grit is? Praise Allah, Moors. I want to thank Chairman Song on me. I want to thank the Moors for your contribution and your patience and for showing up, because you all showed up. So praise Allah for that. Peace and love, more.
Peace and love. Come and go with me to my father's house. Muslims, to my father's house. Muslims,
To my father's house.
come and go with me to my father's house. There is peace, peace, peace.
Islam.
Islam.
I'd like to thank our Sunday school instructor for instructing this class. There's a lot of stimulating questions and a lot of stimulating answers. And I was just thinking that when Salima Bay was just reading, consider ourselves a parent. How do we get these young brothers and sisters? Let them know to consider themselves as a parent of what to expect. But like I said, we got to be the example. But I like to give honor to the mothers, because I know y'all deal with all the different levels of children. I mean, from the young to the old, and even outside in the community. We can continue this conversation after I read the warning, after the Sister Secretary do her communication. Let me just do the divine January 15, 1929. Prophet warns of Muslims, governors order to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop trusting your cause to Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember your cause is for your salvation. Spread obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, true peace, and freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet who violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deed. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid out to them by the prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card, button, T-square their turbans or fez and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting the prophets and the temple. There's an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. We call on the secretary to make those announcements.
Islam. Praise Allah. Just some brief announcements to remind the Moors that if you'd like to pay your dues, you can do so through Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. For Cash App, it's $ MSTA34. For PayPal and Zelle, you can use the temple's email. That's mooresciencetempleno.34@gmail.com. Reminding the Moors that we have our Holy Day meeting on Fridays from 7:30 to 10 p.m. We also have our Sunday school, as you saw today, from 2 o'clock to 4 p.m. If you are unable to make your meeting, please let your grandparents know, and you can communicate. If you are unable to reach her, you can send an email to mooresciencetempleno.34@gmail.com, or if you have contact with any of the sheiks, they can get the information to her. If you haven't got a chance to, please make sure you update your contact information. If you have not updated your contact information since becoming a member, you may want to do that. Send us your email if your address has changed. And there's a link that I will circulate as well that we've been using that you can just put the information in, just fill it in, and it goes right into the database here. So praise Allah for that and technology in the electrified age. Reminding the Moors about Wednesday. We have our Civic Wednesday classes. Is facilitated by Brother K. Turner Bay. And before I go on, is Brother K. Turner Bay there too? Will he be having a class this coming Wednesday?
Islam, send you a flyer.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, you gotta speak a little louder there, brother. We weren't able to hear you on the.
So you tell them to send a flyer.
You're gonna send the flyer.
Oh, you'll send it.
Okay.
You'll send it.
Okay, praise Allah. So we'll circulate the flyer, but it is on Wednesdays, our Civic Wednesdays, every other Wednesday. Brother K. Turner Bay, our brother Sheik, he facilitates that class. And make sure that you come prepared to participate, because he will call on you. And just be willing to share your portion and your thoughts. There's really no wrong answers. Or if you want to listen in and hear the thoughts of the other Moors, you can, kindly say that. That's fine too. But it's only an hour and the conversation gets really good. So you want to be there from the start. Additionally, we have our Q&A, question and answer conference call. It's a dial-in number, and I will also share that in the chat. That is facilitated by our brother assistant Grand Sheikh, Brother W. Clendenin Bay. That's held every Thursday at 7:30, and that can run 45 minutes to an hour. So you want to make sure you participate on the call. You can ask questions, and you can hear from Moors from across the nation, sharing their portion on questions that are being posed. Or if you feel, if you don't, want to participate, you can simply just listen in, and that's fine as well. But it's a great opportunity to hear from the Moors across the nation, as well as be able to pose any questions that you might have. in our format today, we do allow for questions that you might have. So I want to make sure to give space for that. So before I turn that over to the chairman, I just want to thank the Moores for their participation today in Sunday school. I want to give honors to the Sunday school teacher, Brother El Serrano Bay. And he's always doing such a wonderful job. I want to thank him for the example that he set to follow. So praise Allah for that. Praise Allah for him. I hope that he has a speedy recovery. I know that he's under the weather. And I, before I turn it back over to you, Chairman, I just wanted to let Sister Cecile Zeal and Brother K. Turner Bay know that, you both are in my thoughts and prayers around this time of year. It's tough for many folks for other reasons, but because we're family, we know that you both had lost your moms at this time of year. And so I just wanted to give honor to them and to let you know that, we continue to hold space and we continue to hold you all in our thoughts and prayers at this time. I just also wanted to wish our dear sister, Grand Sheikis, an early happy birthday. Her birthday is on the 30th. She shares the same day with my son, James. And so I wanted to also wish her an early happy birthday and also say happy birthday to all of the Moors who've had birthdays this month, including myself and my other son, Brandon Jordanelle. So with that, I will turn it back over to you, to the chairman. Peace and love, Moors. Oh, and before I forget, I don't have a flyer. I need to get it, but we do have the birthday, but I'm going to let Sister Seals Ill or Brother Chairman talk about it because we're still kind of planning it all out. So with that, I say peace and love, Moors.
Peace, praise the Lord. Brother Peterson.
Islam. Wanted to share another thought with the Moors, right? We get into the instruction. So he said it's a bounds of righteousness, right? He spoke of the bounds of righteousness. So in the bounds of righteousness, right, is a certain distance that you can go, right, before you're coveted, right? So from your right hand, there's a certain distance, right, that you can go because there's no empty space, right? Anytime we reach outside of ourselves, we grab and hold to something, right? We just don't know what it is because we can't see it, or we're not looking through the eyes of the soul to be able to perceive exactly what it is that we're grabbing, right? But if within ourselves, right, we stay within the bounds of righteousness, right? If we could through meditation, right? Because he said contemplate thy frame, right? He said contemplate thy frame. So as I drew a little diagram, I don't know if the Moors online can see it, but I drew a little diagram to kind of assist in contemplating that frame, right? From a left-handed individual and right-handed individual.
You can turn that camera if you want there, brother, right hand in the front. Turn it to the board.
This one?
Yes.
Bring it a little closer.
Yeah, move it so much.
More see.
Look at the TV. I got you.
Well, it would take a little bit.
Islam, we can see for the most part.
This one. Right, so if you're left-handed, this is kind of the balance is out as well as up, right? Everything is cyclic. How many days is in a circle?
7 days.
How many days is in a year? How many days is in a creation?
7
right?
days.
So everything is cyclic. So right-handed, your right hand, your left leg is connected to your right hand, right? So when you run or you jog, nobody ever jogs with their right foot and their right hand moving forward. It's always the opposite of hands and legs, right? And the same going up to your brain or your thought or the mind. So the sisters contemplating that frame. Peace, Moss.
Islam? Praise Allah. Peace.
Please, praise Allah. Islam, you have the floor, dear sister. I turned it over to the chairman. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Put that up, camera. Praise Allah, Moss. We have to be prepared for the prophet's birthday. We'll be hosting the prophet's birthday along with the rest of the mosques in the different temples. So we're gonna be hosting the prophet's birthday at 10:34, so we can invite our friends, family, loved ones. And we have Brother Baptiste Day. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Yeah, I know. Everything good? Yeah, praise Allah. Yeah. Came here a few weeks ago with us.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
My brother's been around for some years now.
Yeah, you gotta give up.
Praise Allah.
Yeah, hold on to Allah's unchanging hand, more. You know that. And so it's important that we, like I said, we're gonna be preparing for the prophet's birthday. And also the sister was talking about the ground. The prophet said the ground must be prepared before the corn be planted. So that's what we have to do in terms of our children, prepare the ground first, you know. Because we want to be like the brother was talking about, be the example to our children, because our children watching us. When we think they're not watching us, they be observing and watching us from all different angles. So we got to be very careful when they're around us in our midst. Try to do everything that is right.
That's right.
Because if not, you don't want those evil habits infecting their years. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
And I said, like I said, praise Allah for the children who were born or coming up in these era of time. I'll tell you, these some trying times, man. I watch these young sisters, man, and you know what I'm saying. Some of them need parenting information. They need sisters that can pass things down to them, teach them certain things, because they don't have that time. They don't have it. You know, it was a different time when, like I said, like you're talking about different era of time where your grandmother and your mother and everybody else was doing certain things. Like I said, because a boy become a man, then father, sister become a woman, then mother. You know that cycle. So we know when we got to prepare them early. I got brother Selena Bay, and then Coleman.
Praise Allah, Moors. Just giving the greetings and the Islams and peace from Temple number 88. Brother O German Bay, Sister German Bay, the Emeritus. They wish the Moors peace. You know, they want to they're in a new location now. And you know, Islam. Yeah, the temple is maintaining. You know, the sister Joanne Sheik is the Emeritus. She's doing pretty well. This German Bay, she's looking well. So peace and love, most.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah.
Allah.
Yeah. We saw her at the convention, man. It was good to see her. And remember, Sister Bethar Bay's birthday is on the 25th. So remember that.
Just had
On the
a
25th.
birthday, yeah.
On the 25th, yeah, it was her birthday. So you passed her birthday. Praise Allah. It's our brother Coleman here, and then Sister Celia.
Praise Allah.
Islam to the Moors.
Yeah. Smile, bro. Don't be tight.
Islam.
We need that muscle, man.
First and foremost, I would like to rise to give praise to Allah. And I want to give honors to the Prophet Noble Jew Ali. And I want to give honors to everything the Sister Chairman gave honors to. You are the children of one father, provided for by his care. And the breasts of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with our brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when he separate in the world, remember the relations that bonded you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother's in adversity, assist him. If thy sister's in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes that thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his cares be continued to you all, and your love to each other. I just want to say peace and love to the Moors, and I just want to say
pardon me for my lateness, and peace.
Are we gonna see you for your prophet birthday with your children? We gotta see your children.
You definitely
They were
gonna
there
see
the
me. I'm coming.
Yeah, all right.
Islam.
Bring them children. They
Praise
was there the last time. Praise Allah. Thank you, Mo. Up these days? Good?
So far.
Everything good?
So far.
Oh, yeah, praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
All right, Sister Caesar.
Islam. I was just going to speak to, thank you, Brother Chairman, and I just wanted to give honors to Sister J. Jordan Eel for conducting such a wonderful Sunday school. Honors to our sister, you know, as in her first year as, just the beginning, as our assistant Sunday school instructor. I just wanted to give her honors and just let her know that I appreciated the way that she demonstrated the lesson, right? To take the time to be able to explain it to the youth, to us as parents, to all of us as adults, but also for all of you and your contributions, because your communication is going to help us. It's going to help us help one another. It's going to help us, even if we may not remember who said it. These are things that are critical in keeping a healthy foundation in our own homes. And I just want to give honors to the Moors. At this time, I was going to just speak to the birthday celebration for the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So January 8th is Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birthday. We will not be having a happy belated birthday celebration. We will be celebrating his birthday on January 8th at 2 o'clock here at Temple number 34. Generally what we do is we rotate through the different temples of the state, and they each have a chance to host it. This particular time around, it was on Temple number 21 to host it. With that, I had spoken to Brother G. William Zill maybe 2 Fridays ago, and he let us know that it would be better, we would better be able to support one another if we were able to have it here at Temple number 34. So we didn't intend to do any last minute planning, but it seems like we're really close. So on Thursday, January 8th, we will be having the Prophet's birthday celebration here. Just for the Moors who are going to be coming in person, we look forward to seeing you. We also ask that if you have, if you want to bring water, if you want to bring anything like that, just communicate those messages to the secretary so we can make sure, we have the space for it, that there isn't already an abundance of certain items, and so that we're not over purchasing. So you can reach out to the office of the secretary. You can send a message to any one of the sheiks, but I prefer to try to keep it streamlined if you can. You can always send it to our email, morissciencetemple number 34, @34 and just put Prophet's birthday celebration in the notes. If there's a donation or something that wants to be given. All donations do not just have to be monetary. You may decide you wanted to cook something. You may decide there's something you want to bring in. You may decide, you know what, I have 8 pack of paper towels that I want to bring into the temple. That's fine. Just so the Moors know. At this moment, I believe that's all that I have to share about the Prophet's birthday celebration. We will be speaking today briefly, myself and the sheiks that are available. We'll be speaking with Temple number 21 and 54 briefly after Sunday school today to square away the Prophet's birthday celebration details. So we'll be finalizing everything now. If you weren't here last year and there are children, please let us know the age of the child so that we're able to ensure that the child has a birthday gift. The little Muslim has a birthday gift for the Prophet's birthday celebration. With that, Brother Chairman.
Praise God. Islam. I call now Grand Sheikh / Secretary / Many hats. You read the financial report.
Islam.
Praise Allah and honors to our Prophet. Morris Science Temple of America Incorporated, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founder. This is Temple number 34, Sunday School financial report collected, 237-239 Hancock Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11216. Date, honest to my uncle. Today is my uncle's birthday. Tomorrow will be my grandma's birthday, and then the following day would be my birthday date. And yesterday was my mom's transition date. So praise Allah for the 4 days rolling, right? Praise Allah. So we've collected, public collections has 25, uplifting fund has 20, travel fund has 20, local building fund has 20, and Sisters Auxiliary has 20, giving us today $105 for the grand total. And I'm not sure if it goes in there, so I was gonna give them the because I'm not sure if it was for a supply. If someone bought something.
No, it was on the floor.
All right.
Next to the-
All right, where you wanted to go, Brother Chairman?
Anyway.
Praise Allah. So we have $105.25, as Brother Chairman was able to find the corner. He said it's in the Prophet's Temple. We're gonna add it to the Prophet's collection. So we're gonna just add it to our public collection. That'll give us a grand total today of $105.25. As far as the total for attendance today, I have 12 in total for attendance. Is there any corrections to that number, Sister Secretary, Sister Assistant Sunday School Teacher?
No, I do not have any corrections. Praise Allah.
Thank you. Praise Allah.
Islam, you heard the reading of the financial report. What's the will and pleasure of the Moors? Islam, Brother J. Peter, sir.
Islam, praise and knowledge already given. I move that the financial report be accepted with any necessary corrections if there be any. So,
Can you get a second?
I second that.
Islam.
Praise Allah. It was moved by Brother J. Peterson, second by the Secretary, Sister J. Jordan Hill, that the financial report be accepted with necessary corrections if there be any. You heard the motion already for the question.
Question.
All in favor of this motion, show by the most way vote. Praise Allah. Secretary, note that the motion has been carried.
Carried.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. More like to thank everyone for their contribution physically, spiritually, and financially. I pray Allah continue to protect us. I pray Allah continue to guide us. I pray Allah continue to shield us against all negative forces seen and unseen. And don't forget your early prayer. And put a thought, or keep it over and over, to heal the world. The thought was the cause of it all. Send that out through the ethers, from the sender to the outer bound of life. Praise Allah. Anything else back here?
And so much just to remember to travel safely. This is the time of the year as things are getting colder. There's ice out on the ground. If you can get yourself some deliveries, some food, some waters, get some bottles of waters. Make sure you have waters in the house. Make sure you have dried goods, even if it's just like some bags of beans that you can sit and you can soak just in case there was like any issues with the power, with the gas lines, with the electricity, anything like that, that you're still able to prepare yourself some food. I recently contemplated sharing that thought, but even just sternos. You may go to the dollar store, you may get yourself, just have a couple of sternos in your house, because you never know when anything can happen, gas line, anything freezing, anything can go on. It's always good to just have basic things in the home. The sternos could be used to heat up some food. The sternos can be used in a pan if you just had to find a way to prepare yourself a meal depending on the conditions, right? That's just something that I would encourage Moors to do. Try to drink some hot fluids at the start of your day, and even from coming in from outside, just to try to keep that mucus thinned out and at bay. We all carry the cold virus in us. It is a virus. It doesn't go anywhere. It just goes dormant for a while, gets triggered, pops up, and inflames our nostrils and our chest. So listen, Moors, just again, stay hydrated. Try to keep yourselves as warm as reasonably possible, and try to keep yourselves stocked. If you do not have any food or anything like that at home, please send a message out. We will do some things to make sure that you at least have some food with you, Moors. Praise Allah. Islam, baby Comanil. Praise Allah. Islam. It's good to see you. Dad, praise Allah. I see your dad too. Praise Allah. He got on a suit. He's got his fez on. That's right. Out of the mouth of the babes come the truth. Little Muslims.
Oh wow. Praise Allah. Good to see you.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah.
Islam. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say a good thing to eat to those who's trying to eat healthy. Sweet potatoes is a very good thing to eat. It's very good for potassium and nutrients and things like that. You know, it's very good for the body. You know, so that's one thing I've been eating pertaining to diets and everything like that. Sweet potatoes and guacamole, you know, stuff like that. It's very good for the body to all those who's trying to eat healthy. And it's good, and it's not that much if you're trying to save money pertaining to food to the ones out there. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mo. Praise Allah. And as the brother threw that out there, it made me just think of a couple of things. Of course, this is not for anyone, you know, not a medical provider or practitioner. For anyone who has any prior existing conditions, is taking any medication, please consult with your medical provider before utilizing any nutritional supplements, as I'm about to mention. So echinacea and golden seal, those are like two of the powerhouses, especially at this time of year, that can be purchased. Small quantities, but helps to keep the body detox and cleanse. It also helps to build immunity. I'm not sure if a lot of the Moors are familiar with even folic acid. That's very much helpful with the mind and the body on different degrees. They have these things called colloidal silver and colloidal gold, which is something that we use at a point in time. It's kind of hard to find good quality brands, but just something as simple as, you know, having yourself some echinacea and golden seal. You can get the powdered forms. You can make sure if you're purchasing any capsules that you're making sure that they're vegetarian, vegan capsules, because a lot of the capsules are made with pork fat. With that, again, Moors, if you can't go out and buy drinking water, you can boil your water. Okay, Moors? You can boil your water and store your water. Dollar store, discount stores have glass, what are these called? Not canteens, not just pitchers, but I think you get the idea, where you can store your water. So, you know, just please do what you can to take care of yourselves. And that's all that I ask. Again, honest for all the Moors who participated during the Sunday school.
Praise the Lord. All right, face to east. Feet at 90 degrees, 45 on each side, 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right. Repeat the Morse American prayer after man. Keep it. This is CUCOD.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
The Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Drew Ali.
Drew Ali.
Amen.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Lord, praise the Lord.
I was also, I'm going to push that.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise Allah.